Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece chapter 974. And ooh boy, oh Lordy Lou in heaven, holy crap! So yeah, this chapter was something else. So let's just jump right into the big reveal in this chapter, which is that Kanjuro has been a double agent all this time, as well as a member of the Kurozumi family. And the thing with this reveal is that it's one of those it's one of those times where I kind of anticipated this even before the revelation itself. I mean, obviously, the pretty much dead giveaway was the dead giveaway that pretty much confirmed that Orochi was that confirmed by Orochi that basically Kanjuro was the spy and was the traitor and whatnot, is his very lengthy description. Just pretty much based on that description, I was like, oh no, please, no, for God's sakes, no, please tell me it's not him. And yeah, inevitably, it was Kanjuro. And don't get me wrong, there was of course that lengthy description that pretty much showed that of who was feeding him information that basically says it outright that it was Kanjuro. But even before that, the build up to this moment makes so much more sense when you take Kanjuro's total involvement in the story into context. Kanjuro, up to this point, he's always been kind of that character who has been evolved enough in order to leave an impression, yet disconnected enough where he couldn't be ruled out either. Like in many respects, if you look at Kanjuro's involvement all the way up to this point, it's been very it's been there. It's been his involvement has been very noticeable, but at the same time very minimal. He's left an impression, but at the same time he's kept himself almost at a distance. So in that respect, it perfectly describes the pretty much his actions perfectly describe the pretty much those of a spy, of a traitor. So and again, going back to those first 7 pages and just rereading them definitely more than a couple times, again, the more frightened I actually got by the reality that Kanjuro was the spy, to the point where when the mask finally did drop, I actually felt myself getting a little heartbroken because, like I said before, I did not want to like I said, even just when I started reading this chapter, I did not want to believe or accept the fact that Kanjuro was going to betray everyone. Like whatever you think about Kanjuro, he did become in his own right a likable character, and like I said before, it's one where I was like, oh no, please don't tell me it's him. Please don't tell me it's him. Like I kept telling myself, like after I read those first 7 pages, I kept telling myself that in my head, like, please don't let it be Kanjuro, don't let it be Kanjuro. And then it was Kanjuro. Like I was just I was weirdly heartbroken by it. And I think in a way that the pretty much fact that I was kind of heartbroken by the fact that it was Kanjuro, it shows a testament to how much to to Oda's abilities in order to write characters. Like he did like Kanjuro up to this point has been a bit of a fool and an idiot in some ways, but he was likable. And yeah, Kanjuro, what can I say? It was just it really made it was really heartbreaking, honestly. That's all I can say. Um, Now, of course, with this reveal of now, of course, the other thing with this reveal though of Kanjuro being the spy and being the traitor, there's also a very intriguing parallel of irony to the fact that one of the people Kinemon trusted the most turned out to be an enemy, and the person who's supposed to be Kinemon's enemy, in this case, like pretty much Kyoshi, like pretty much Denjiro, who's playing the part of Kyoshido, is actually his most trusted ally. And both Denjiro and basically Kanjuro have acted in very similar fashion. Only difference being one was acting in service of Orochi, while the other was acting in service of the people. Of course, in this case, as revealed by Kanjuro himself, what makes his revelation as a member of the Kurozumi family even more frightening is that he's basically been responsible for every single misfortune that's fallen upon our heroes leading up to this point. Like in some respects, you could say that everything that's happened to them is basically Kanjuro's fault. Like he basically he even laid it out in this chapter that he's been responsible for a large part of what of what of what's happened at this point. Like basically like pretty much Jack ended up coming to Zoe. How like I think he mentioned a large like partly of what happened in Dressrosa probably too. Like just everything he's been at the center of all of it. So yeah, and you know it's and okay so but yeah and so as I was and okay so another big reveal with this chapter is at the end where basically Law, Luffy, and Kid will pretty much show up as reinforcements in order to protect like basically like the Kinemon and the other Red Scabbards. And the thing and the funny thing is with that reveal is that as I was reading this chapter, I partly kind of expected like Denjiro to still show up with reinforcements, but I think that was largely only because of the beginning scene and what we got in its place again with Luffy, Law, and Kid was not only more epic with basically like because just on the level of epicness, it's basically them with Luffy, Law, and Kid showing up. It's essentially like the worst generation trio 2.0, the pirate ship edition. Like it's like that whole scene. It was pretty much like what happened in Sub Ori Archipelago with them teaming up to fight the Marines. Except in this case, it's them teaming up in order to fight the beast like Kaido's crew, like the Beast Pirates, the Animal Kingdom Pirates. Like that's essentially what this is. It's basically the worst generation trio team up 2.0, except instead of just them alone, it's them with their pirate ships, and yeah, it's just epic as hell. Um, and and but the other thing outside of the epicness of them showing up in their pirate ships, is that the more I thought about it as well, it makes more sense for those three to show up over Denjiro because they're really the only ones unpredictable enough to basically throw all the information Kanjuro's gathered up to this point out of whack. Whereas with Denjiro, if he were to show up with his men, that might have been a little more within expectations. And just me saying that as well, I kind of have alarm bells going off in my head that Kanjuro, if Kanjuro was as good at his job as a spy as can be believed, then Hiyori and Denjiro might be in more of a perilous predicament right now than we think. Especially since with the reveal of Kanjuro being a spy, it opens up the possibility that he could have very well discovered who Denjiro was even before he came into Orochi's employ. And in that sense, if pretty much if Denjiro ends up pretty much betraying at any point in time during this point, if he ends up betraying betraying Orochi now at this point with this reveal, then he could very well in fact be walking into a trap now. And again, going back with the and again, going back to the appearance of Luffy, Law, and Kid, the one thing you'll notice is that Luffy isn't sporting his usual attire. In fact, based on the collar of what he's wearing alone, it looks like he's sporting something resembling to an actual captain's jacket. If it isn't that what it is exactly. And like, don't get me wrong, I love Luffy's base look, but whatever it is he's wearing, is it too much to ask that he keeps it? Like, yeah, it's I know we've only seen the color of it, but already I'm kind of liking his more captainy kind of look. Um, like I want him to wear that for the rest of the series, but like the thing is, if it isn't like a kind of like a pretty much sleeve like a pretty much sleeve jacket or something like that, a jacket, if he isn't like wearing like if it isn't like a loose jacket with sleeves or something, or a loose vest with sleeves, then he probably won't, because one thing I think I know for sure when it comes to Oda is that he always wants his characters wearing things that are functional within the realm of their powers. So if it's like a jacket, if it's like an actual captain's jacket, it probably wouldn't be too functional for Luffy to wear considering his powers. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and list your Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.